Good day everyone. So for today's lesson, we will be tackling about the global mobility by group 9. Here are the learning outcomes. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to analyze the political, economic, cultural, and social factors underlying the global movements of people and display first-hand knowledge of the experiences of OFWs. Introduction. In this lesson, you are expected to distinguish the different interpretations of an approach to globalization and describe the emergence of global economic, political, social, and cultural systems. Furthermore, analyze the various drivers of globalization. We have definitions of terms. Migrant, a citizen who leaves his or her country of birth to work or reside in another country. Refugee, a person who has been forced to flee his or her country to escape war, political persecution, catastrophe, natural disaster, and the like. Remittances, money sent by migrants to their home countries. Immigration, international movement of people into a destination country of which they are natives or where they do not possess citizenship in order to settle or reside. Immigration, it is the act of leaving a resident country or place of residence with the intent to settle elsewhere. Immigrate is from the point of view of the departure or exit, and the migrate is all about the moving or move. We have abstraction. When you heard about global mobility, what comes in your mind? So mobility is the ability to move between different levels in society or employment. From the recent international migration trends, the top countries of origin are India, Mexico, China, Philippines, Afghanistan, and the top destination are the West and Middle East and United States. Kinds of migrants can be vagabonds or tourists. Vagabonds refers to people who move involuntarily. They can be first refugees, wherein they are forced to leave their homeland due to their fear for their safety. Second, they can be asylum seekers, who seek to remain in the country to which they flee. Or third, a labor migrant, where one is forced to search for work outside with his or her home country by push and pull factors. Tourists, on the other hand, are people who move anywhere in the world because they want to. But the major challenge in analyzing the mobility of the population is the difficulty in acquiring data. Many countries do not collect data, and those that collect data do not report them to the international agencies. Population flows are defined differently in different countries, and only few countries keep track of their expatriates. The more it is difficult in keeping tabs on illegal migrants. Many nations tend to keep the labor it needs, but there is also an influx of large number of migrants into another country, which can and times lead to conflict. Migration impediments also be attributed to the growing concern over terrorism. Such difficulties could be ascribed as a product of vast Westphalia era.
More than 244 million international migrants were estimated to live in a foreign country in 2015, leaving apart the massive number of people that have been relocated in their own country. When we say migrant, a migrant is any person who is moving or has moved across an international border or within a state away from his or her habitual place of residence regardless of the person's legal status, whether the movement is voluntary or involuntary, what the causes for the movement are, or what the length of the stay is. Furthermore, a substantial proportion of international migrants from southern countries do not reach western nations but resettle in neighboring low-income countries in the same geographical area. Among the macro factors, the political, demographic, and socio-economic and environmental situation are major contributors to migration. These are the main drivers of forced migration, either international or internal, and largely out of individuals' control. Among the meso factors, communication, technology, and grabbing a diasporic links play an important role. However, microfactors such as education, religion, marital status, and personal attitude to migration also have a key role in making the final decision to migrate an individual choice. The stereotype of the illiterate, poor, and rural migrant reaching the borders of affluent countries has to be abandoned. The poorest people simply do not have the means to escape war and poverty and remain trapped in their country or in neighboring one.
In this part, I will discuss about drivers of migration. Drivers of migration has four parts, namely inadequate human and economic development, demographics increase urbanizations, climate changes, and lastly, education. But firstly, let's discuss about inadequate human and economic development. So what is inadequate human resources development? Inadequate human resources is the storage of manpower to carry out activities associated with human resources planning, recruitment, selection, or orientation, training, appraisal, motivation, and also a function within an organization that focuses on people. The poverty rate is higher in Mindanao than in Luzon and the Visayas. According to the Family Economic and Expenditure Survey, or FIES 2015, 36% of the population of Mindanao live below the poverty line compared to 13.1% in Luzon and 28% in the Visayas. Poverty is particularly high in rural Mindanao. Secondly, we will discuss the second part of diverse migration, which is demographics increase urbanization. So, what is the demographic of urbanization? Urbanization from demographic point of view refers to the proportion of country's population living in urban areas. Increase in urban population of an area over a period of time is an indicator of the rate of urbanization in that area. The population of Western developed countries is decreasing in size and aging slowly, while the young working age population of developing countries is growing rapidly. And thirdly, the climate changes. What is climate change in simple words? Climate change refers to long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, such as through variation in the solar cycle. But since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change. primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. It has been proposed that by directly influencing the dangerousness of the location, but also partly changing the economic, political, and societal context with very complex interrelationships, the climate may have an effect on migration flows.
Education. The relationship between education and migration are twofold. From one side, the migration of education people from low middle income countries to countries constitute of net loss of human qualified resources for the origin countries and a gain for the host country, phenomenon known as brain drain. From the from the other side, the financial and ideational remittance from destination countries may also have an impact on the education of non-migration child and adolescent in their origin countries. Minana respective, the costs and benefits of migration. Migration to urban areas in the Philippines is significant with rural migrants seeking better employment and suffer living condition. General Santos City, Cagayan de Oro, and Davao contract the most payment migrant, but these three cities also experience the most immigration as their people find better job in Cebu, Manila, or overseas. Temporary migrants looking for jobs or seeing conflict account for a large share and them urban population with IDPs and individual looking for temporary works. And that's all. Thank you.